Due to a technical issue, most of the audio was either damaged or lost. What you're about to hear is the audio that we were able to salvage. Thank you and enjoy. Welcome back to the Haddonfield Horrors podcast, where we review horror movies and horror franchises. I'm Mark,
I'm Tawan.
I'm Maria.
and today we're reviewing Ouija. Is it Ouija or Ouija? How do you say this word?
Ouija.
And today we're reviewing Ouija, directed by Styles White, screenplay by Juliet Snowden and Styles White, story by Styles White. Maria, can you give the people the plot summary?
Following the sudden death of her best friend Debbie, Lane finds an antique Ouija board in Debbie's room and tries to use it to say goodbye. Instead, she makes contact with a spirit that calls itself DZ. As strange events begin to occur, Lane enlists others to help her determine DZ's identity and what it wants. As the friends delve deeper, they find that Debbie's mysterious death was not unique and that they will suffer the same fate unless they learn how to close the portal they've opened. I mean, it was an awful movie. I saw the I did see the prequel before I saw this one, and I love the prequel. I feel like it's good. It's so scary. So I had high expectations for this one, and it was awful. It's so boring. And I know what you mean about the whole they kind of did it to themselves because they did, especially in this movie because yes, they were so stupid. Like that scene where I think this was after I think it was after Isabel had died, I think, and they're in school and Trevor's like, "You made us do this," and she was like, "I know, and I don't know how I'm ever gonna forgive myself," and then she tells them to go back. Like, are you fucking stupid? Jesus Christ, that shit was so dumb. um but I don't know, and it was boring. It was just wasn't scary, I guess. It wasn't good. And yeah, Lean is stupid. And it also had a lot of cliches in it that weren't great, weren't working. Um and yeah, especially in this movie, if they would have just followed the rules, they would have been fine. They never said goodbye. Lane, even though she knew the fucking rules, kept playing by herself. You Yeah, she was like, it's the rules, guys, and then followed none of them. So I mean, does she deserve it? Yeah. I mean, there were plenty of bad scenes where
I
they were
think my
just doing
mic
stupid
cut.
shit over and
Fuck.
over again.
And it stopped the recording
And
temporarily, but I think it's
the
back.
scene where I
No,
think
because
they're
it
in the
said it stopped
house and
recording.
it's just
But
Trevor,
yeah, there are no kills for
Sarah, and
me. I
Lane,
just I couldn't
and
find any
Trevor goes
to
through the
connect with
back,
that
and
scared
then he
me
comes out, and
or
they're
had
oh,
any
they see
what
him
you want from a
inside
horror
the
killer. It just wasn't given. So
in the
let's skip
house, and
on over
his
that
face, and then he
and
just
let's head to the
disintegrates. It
characters.
was
I want
so
to start with Doris. What do we think about Doris, guys?
well, yeah. First of all, just he just disappears. Not disappears, but he just crumbles away, and then Lane has no expression on her face. She's just like, "Oh my god," and then they continue. And it's like, your boyfriend just died, ma'am. What are you doing? I don't know. It was so weird. And the ending where they're in their house and Lane's looking at all their pictures. And Sarah comes in and she's like, "Are you like?" She's like, "How are you doing?" Like people just died. What do you mean how? Like, and she's just like, "I feel better," blah, and then she's like giving off this whole speech. Like, I feel like the timeline doesn't match, and I'm assuming all that happened like the day before. So it's I don't know. It was I don't know. Whatever. I guess. Not to mention Lane fucking listening to the crazy old lady who's in the fucking mental hospital. Like what were you expecting? I'm sorry, but like it's like obviously there's something up with this lady for her to still be there. Um, but I mean, any good scenes? I don't know. I don't think they have good scenes. It's just a lot of like cheesy things going on, and just I don't know. It was a dumb movie. I think the only death that stood out for me was Debbie's when she like hung herself. Though the way she hung herself was something about it was just wasn't it was weird. But I think it was the only death that made sense, I guess. If that makes any sense. Like it's like I mean Isabella or whatever her name was, she just like the thing just carried her and then just dropped her on the fucking sink. I thought it was gonna drown her, which it should have. That would have been cool. There was literally water in the tub right next to her. I don't know. But nobody else really died in any way that was like oh my god, like I mean the boyfriend just fucking crumbles away. The other boyfriend, Pete, I don't even remember what happens to him. I just remember like he sees the ghost in his room that he's dead. Um and like that's it. So the only death that really stood out was Debbie's.
Well, Maria, what are your thoughts on Debbie?
I mean, I don't really have any thoughts on Debbie. She was on screen for like 5 minutes and then she appeared at the end again for like 5 minutes. I mean, good for her for coming back and saving her friend. But like, that's it. I don't know. Doris's face in that scene was so funny because she looked at her like, "Who are you? Like, what are you doing?" Yeah,
Like
but I
everyone
mean, other
watching.
than that, I don't really have any thoughts on Debbie.
Maria, what are your thoughts on Paulina?
I agree with what Tawan said. I mean, she played those kids. Well, to be fair, those kids were dumb. They were so stupid. But like, I mean, she was literally just in her wheelchair, chilling. You know, as these kids were over here releasing her sister like she wanted to. So good for her, I guess.
Maria, what are your thoughts on Sarah?
To be honest, I don't understand why Sarah was even there. Like they kept kind of like bashing her throughout the whole fucking movie. Like in the beginning, like you see the strained relationship between her and Lane, and then like I forgot what scene this was, but like something was happening, and they're like, "Sarah, is that you?" Like they asked her like 3 times, and she was like, "It's not me." Like I don't know. I don't understand what the whole point of having her there was. I honestly can't believe she even survived. Like, but honestly, I feel like if Sarah was just taken out of the movie, like nobody would have noticed, you know? And I kind of just, I don't know. You could just tell just nobody liked her. Like, yeah, like that one scene where fucking Trevor, like, I think this was when they first came into the house, and like she was like, "This is weird, you guys," and Trevor like goes up to her, all like aggressively, and he was like, "Well, just do it," and it was like. First of all, like, who the fuck are you to talk to her like that? Like, that's your girlfriend's sister. Like, I don't know, whatever, I guess. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, I felt bad for her character. Don't understand why she was there. And She was kind of irrelevant, to be honest.
What about you, Maria? What are your thoughts on Lane?
Yeah, she was stupid. She had no idea what the hell she was doing. Didn't follow any of the rules, even though she was the one who told them the rules. She was just dumb. Yeah, she's the reason they all died. You know what I mean? Like, she was just so stupid. Like, she kept, I don't know, like, she just kept going back to, like again, like that scene where after somebody had already died and they were like, "This is your fault," and she was like, "Yes, I know, and I'm just gonna have to live with that," and blah blah blah, and then she makes them go back and do to do the same shit all over again. Like Lane was the one who listened to that crazy lady in the mental hospital and convinced everybody to go. I guess maybe everybody else is just as stupid, but that's not the point. But I mean, it was just she was just dumb. Like she was doing so many stupid things. Um, like when her sister was like dragged into that hole like in the basement, Elaine could have totally gone after her. Like I'm sorry, but that hole fit enough for her to go in there and help her sister. Like I don't know, whatever, I guess. um I don't know, she was just stupid. She just got lucky. I think she got lucky she even survived, but that's just me.
Do we cash or pass Ouija? Maria?
I pass. I think if that wasn't already obvious by me calling all the characters stupid, I pass on this movie. Just wasn't good. And I mean, I guess maybe if I had seen this first, I think I would have been a little bit more okay with it. But the second one is so much better. Like I don't know. Like this is just a bad movie overall.
And for me, it's also gonna be a pass. It just I don't know. This show, I mean, this movie just I feel like it has potential and it could be good. And we like the prequel is so good, and it's just if they would have just flipped it and made the prequel first and gave that to us, and then led into it. I think is the prequel is that done by different people? Is that a different team? Because yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense because just looking at like who was behind the from the screenplay to the writing, there was like one too many people involved, and it just I didn't even know about the reshoots. Like you can tell that like this movie just did not go together, and that's glaringly obvious. There are like certain plot points that are just like randomly inserted, and none about the reshoots. That helps. That doesn't make it any good, but it helps to know why it's bad. Like this is a pass. This is a pass across the board. But hopefully next week we might get a cash with the follow up Ouija. Ouija 2, The Origin of Evil. If we cash or pass, you guys have to that. If you want to know if we cash or pass, tune in next week. Good night. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is a Letters to Media production.
Should we do an intro?